Well, I decided to remake this video because the first one was I was half asleep, anyway. This is the iBook G3 clamshell. The original version was a 300 megahertz with only 32 megabytes of memory soldered to the logic board. The second version was the same machine but with 64 megabytes soldered to the logic board and a 6.4 gig hard drive. This one was the second version, which came out in February of 2000. The first one was released in, I believe, July of 1999. Now, when I was in high school, this was probably one of the more popular notebooks among students. I went to a very wealthy high school, but I was not very wealthy myself, so I could never afford one. So I waited until they became affordable to pick one up. This is I paid $40 for on eBay. It arrived in a bag full of parts. The story was it was sent to a recycler company in California by the original owner. The hard drive was removed for security reasons, and they couldn't figure out how to put the replacement drive in. They couldn't figure out how to get it back together. So, consequently, the auction sold for well less than it was worth. I paid $43 plus shipping. Normally they sell for well over $100. They still hold value for a couple of reasons. The first one, it's probably the most unique laptop ever commercially sold in the United States. Other than the eMate, which was... Actually, this was probably based on the eMate's design. The eMate was basically a stripped-down notebook strictly for educational use. This one was sold towards, or marketed towards college students, and a lot of consumers bought these, and a lot of educators bought them as well, teachers, etc. What makes it, the reason I bought it, for instance, the durability factor. This notebook is built from a very flexible, forgiving plastic. It would probably withstand a drop of about 6 feet without getting any damage. What makes it so durable is the plastic. It's sort of almost like Rubbermaid, but not quite as flexible. It has a lot of give to it. The rubber coating really doesn't give it the impact resistance. It mainly gives it appearance and anti-slip properties when you're picking it up from the lid. Now, the way it's constructed, what gives it its unique shape, and what also contributes to its durability, is the fact that it was built with buffer zones around all the components. If you notice, you can actually see right through the display on the edges here. There's about 1 inch of extra material around the impact zone of the display. If it were to be dropped, this is likely where it would be hit. So there's plenty of space between the actual display itself and the edge of the machine. Almost like the bumper of an automobile. And they designed it so that, I mean, if it was dropped on its corner, the impact would actually radiate throughout the rest of the machine, instead of directly impacting any components. Now, the logic board is built maybe about ½ an inch away from the edge on the base of the unit. The battery compartment is right here. It goes from one end to the other. So, what I'm trying to say is there's plenty of crumple zones, if you will, built into this machine to give it the impact resistance it needs for daily survival in a student's life. A couple of other things. It has a 6-hour battery. The battery, I'm going to show you in a second. I'll close it up and flip it around. The battery is located underneath the wrist pad. It can be removed by simply unlatching these two thumb screws, or these two screws. Oh, they're not really screws, they're latches. The battery is simply pulled out like that. It's a fairly large battery. So that gives it, on a fully charged, brand new battery, you get about 6 hours with the right power settings, which is unheard of today. Not many notebooks have that ability these days. Part of the reason this one has that ability is for its low power consumption, and it's only a 300 megahertz machine, so being a 300 megahertz machine, it can survive without any cooling system. It has a fairly large heatsink built in, so there's no need for fans. And fans do consume a vast amount of energy compared to having no fans at all. The keyboard pops out like so, giving you access to the expansion capabilities. Now you've got your, like the later version of the iBook, the iBook, it has the airport card mounted in a little tray above the memory slots. There's only one memory slot below this tray, which will allegedly accept up to 512 megabytes of memory. I'm going to prove or disprove this theory because I have one on order. I'm planning on upgrading it from its 192 megabytes to a full 512. Now, in the configuration you see here, it doesn't have the original 6 gig drive. It has a 10 gig, and it has, as I just mentioned, a 128 megabyte memory module installed, giving it 192 megs of memory. Because it's a 64 megabyte version, which has the 64 megs soldered to the logic board. I'm running OS 10.3.9. Allegedly, it can accept up to 10.4 if you were to install it with an external DVD-ROM drive. Whether or not that'll work, I don't know. But I've heard of people doing it. Or you could take the drive out and image it with a machine that does have FireWire, and supposedly you can install 10.4 that way. As far as speed goes, this machine is not very fast. And I think most of the reason for its slowness is due to a lack of memory. 192 megs running 10.3.9. Sure, it runs, but it's not very fast. I'm going to try to load a web page for you. I just plugged it into my Ethernet cable. I have an airport card on order for it, and I'm planning on buying a new battery next week. The new battery will give me my 6-hour battery life, which leads me into my next topic. Why did I buy this machine other than to reminisce about high school days? Well, as I remember from my high school days, I had several teachers who owned these. One of them was an environmental teacher. He was loading up his truck to go on a backpacking excursion, and he mistakenly left his laptop without a case or anything by one of the rear wheels of his pickup truck. He drove over the machine, and fearing the worst, he immediately assessed the damage when he realized his mistake. There was no damage to this machine. It wasn't this one exactly, but it was the same notebook, and he didn't damage it at all. Another teacher I had, actually our network administrator had one of these, and he used it, and it was using it in his kitchen, and his 3-year-old daughter yanked it off the table with a yo-yo power cord while it was running and open. No damage. I know of other cases where people have stepped on them, walked on them, dropped them, and they seem to survive every time, which is amazing. And that's strictly due to the design of this machine and the buffer zone that I referred to earlier. I bought this machine because I was looking for a durable field notebook. I was looking for something that could withstand some impact, something that I don't have to worry about getting scratched. As you can see, it's got this nice rubberized coating, fairly scratch resistant, and the 6-hour battery life and all-in-one compact design makes it easy for me to tote around. And the main reason was this handle, which means that I can carry this around without a case and not have to worry about it getting damaged. I just simply tote it around. Now I know what you're thinking. I know it looks like a friggin' purse, but I don't care. it does the job, and I'm hoping it'll work out for me because I'm planning on putting a lot of money into this thing. So, well, that's it for now. Hope you've enjoyed. Until then.